Hey everybody, it is Professor Hatch, and I am going to talk to you about craft essay number 2. So let's look at that. Um, this, if I recall correctly, is coming later, much later in the semester than the first craft essay. But given that you've already written one craft essay at this point, you should be familiar with the idea of it. In this essay, you are going to be responding to Carolyn Forché's The Kernel, which probably we will have read and discussed maybe several weeks before you actually have to write this assignment. But that's okay. Anyway, so you are to analyze Carolyn Forché's poem, The Kernel. Once again, the objective of this essay is for you to explore how Forché accomplishes what she does through her writing. Please do this by answering all of the following. And again, I would treat these bullet points here, or these list items, as a paragraph each. So number 1, analyze why the poet might have chosen the prose poem form for this piece. As you can see, looking down here below, this poem is not broken up into stanzas. It's just a big block of text. Why did she choose that instead of something different? What might she have been hoping to accomplish by doing that? 2, select one of the following images to analyze what it clarifies, complicates, or adds to the area of the poem where it is written, and what it clarifies, complicates, or adds to the poem as a whole. That should be approximately 250 words. Same approximation for number 1 there. I didn't say that. And then these are the images you can select from for this part. The moon swung bare in its black cord over the house, cut his hands to lace. The parrot said hello on the terrace. They were like dried peach halves. A lot of people go with that last one because it's a very powerful moment in the poem. But feel free to pick whichever one of these works for you. Number 3, rewrite the poem with line breaks of your choosing. How do these line breaks complicate or change the poem? Copy the poem from below, paste it into your essay, and begin breaking the lines. And I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to demonstrate doing this real quick. I'm literally going to, okay, I'm going to apparently screw that up. I'm going to take this poem, I'm going to highlight it, copy it, and I am going to, I guess I'm going to open up Word. I'm going to open up a new Word doc though. And there we go. That looks much more normal. So here is the poem as it is in block form. I'm literally going to go through this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do the entire poem because no one wants to watch me do that. But here, what you have heard is true. I was in his house. His wife carried a tray. How about this? What you have heard is true. I was, line break, in his house. His wife carried a tray of coffee, line break, and sugar. His daughter filed her nails. His son went out for the night. There were daily papers, pet dogs. For the night, there were daily papers. Let's see. Pet dogs. A pistol on the cushion beside him. Yeah, let's leave that there. Maybe a stanza break there. And then I'm gonna stop. By the way, I'm gonna single space all this because it's a poem and I think it looks better. Why is this not? There we go. So there's one stanza, and then I guess if I were to continue, the moon swung bare on its black cord over the house. On the television was a cop show. It was in English. Broken bottles were embedded in the walls around the house. There. So I'm going to stop here, but you get an idea. This is me breaking the lines. They're breaking this whole thing into various lines. I don't know how many stanzas I would use. This is just, and by the way, I am the sensibility I'm using to make these line breaks is what makes for an interesting line? Have you, what you have heard is true, I was, and then looking at the next line, you know, maybe you're wondering, I was what? And then in his house, I was in his house, obviously, but also this line then is just saying in his house, his wife carried a tray of coffee. You see where that line is actually doing something on its own, regardless of what's going on with the line before or after it. That's just what I'm doing. You can do something similar, you can do something entirely different, whatever. Let's go back over to the essay. So that's number 3. Rewrite the poem with line breaks of your choosing, and literally you just need to copy and paste the essay and do what I just did. Number 4, select 3 of the lines you made in part 3 above and explain why you made each break. So again, going back over here, I just explained why I made this break. There's something different going on here that stands out from the rest of, like, in his house, his wife carried a tray of coffee. That is a complete thought unto itself, regardless of what's happening before or after. Is that particularly interesting? I don't know, but it's the choice I made. That's the choice I made. Was there something interesting about the choice I made? Perhaps not. But, select 3 lines you made in part 3 above and explain why you made each break and what your intention for each break is. Doesn't matter if it's interesting. This isn't asking for it to be interesting. It's asking you to explain why you chose to break the line where you did. And approximately 300 words for this section. And so obviously 1, 2, and 4, those really should just be their own paragraphs. Part 3 is going to be however many, it's not going to be a paragraph, it's going to be a poem, and however many lines and stanzas you want it to be. The word counts are approximate. There should be no less than 1,000 words in total for the entire essay. And then no works cited page is needed. Once again, MLA format's required. So feel free to use the English 3010 essay template, which I've talked about in the previous craft essay video. And at this point, I'm not going to open it up because at this point you should be familiar with it. Standard college level grammar, spelling, punctuation. If that's not your thing, use Grammarly, use spell check, whatever. We have these tools out there. Please take advantage of them. Please use them before you turn in the essay for grading. And is there anything else I really need to say? Please do not use any block quotes. You really don't need to be using block quotes for any essay in this class. I think that's everything else I need to say. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. That's everything else I need to say. As always, if you have questions about anything, text me on Remind. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Sound good? I'll talk to you soon.